I hate this day. I hate the fucking rain. I hate everything. Tune in. Tune in.
I can pick anyone I choose. And I choose Ben Richards. That boy's one mean mother...
Welcome to the fucking Death Hour, everybody. As you've seen in the beginning, this show and every show moving forward is in dedication to someone who we lost a week and a half ago. It was like losing the heart of this show. He was our producer. He booked all the guests you see. He came up with a lot of the ideas. I just put it on the page and I just host. But Vic was a mastermind. So don't forget, everybody, next weekend, next Saturday, January 30th, we're doing a tribute to Vic. The guest list is insane. You won't believe who's going to be on this fucking show. Let's bring our guests in tonight, though. Mitch fucking Vallen. What's up, bro?
Yo, Michael Thick, what's going on, man?
What's up, Mitch? How you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on the Death Hour. You know, it's good to see that what I've been doing in deathmatch wrestling has been noticed, especially by guys here in the Murder, Death, Kill Club. You know, man, really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, we see you. We got our eye on you, man. I'm a big fan of you. I like to consider you the heart and soul of H2O, man. You've been there since the fucking beginning, and it's like you're always there, man. You can always count on Mitch Vallen to have a match.
I appreciate that. Matt Tremont gave me an opportunity at a time where a lot of people never did. So pretty much H2O is pretty much the only place I really ever work now. Not that I chose to, it's just more just, you know, as a wrestler, we don't really decide where we go unless somebody gives us an opportunity. Pretty much Matt gave me the ball like right from the get-go when I walked in, and I just did whatever I could with it. And obviously I'm doing something right because I'm still there after about almost 3 years.
Fuck yeah. Definitely. You guys know the routine, by the way. Drop your questions below. Mitch Vallen, you'll answer anything, right?
I'll answer anything.
You don't give a fuck. Let's
No,
talk about tomorrow. There's a big double header, right? H2O.
Yeah, first show of the doubleheader is You Shouldn't Have Done That, where I'll be wrestling against the Dignified Administration in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Anything crazy going on in that one? I don't know, but I'll probably, make sure I'll do some kind of crazy shit to them. Fuck those guys. I don't like their face. They suck. Then we got a couple. Next show is No Pity for the Weak, where that's the show later on, where my tag partner, one half of the Lone Rangers, Jeff Cannonball, will be taking on Johnny Nova. I don't like Johnny Nova. I think he's a jerk off. So I'm really hoping that Jeff Cannonball just beats the living shit out of him.
I do too. So this night show, it starts at what time? Is it 8 p.m. Eastern on IWTV?
Yeah, No Pity for the Week will start at 8 o'clock. However, the show during the day starts at 2:30. And I do believe that the early show will also be on IWTV.
Yep, that's right. I seen that confirmed today on IWTV. Both shows are streaming, so that's fucking awesome. Let's
Yeah,
look
man.
more into this match though. This is who you're going against. You're gonna fuck this dude up, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck both of them up. You got one dude who says he's a president of what, God knows what, can't even afford gear, just wears a suit, lazy fuck. And then you got the other dude who wears that furry vest. If you ask me, the first time I ever looked at him, he kind of looks like Billy the Blue Power Ranger. Because when I first met him, he had glasses. So I'm just looking at him going, oh shit, you look like Billy the Blue Power Ranger. So fuck him too, though. I got
All
a
right,
terrible
guys.
mouth, so if anybody gets pissed off, too bad.
No, man, I got a really bad mouth too. I've heard some of the podcasts you've done before, and they sometimes edit you and don't let you speak your mind the way I know you want to. Right here, you could say anything here, man. We don't give a fuck.
Oh, believe me, I read your guys' conversations on here, and I've seen what you say to each other. So I was like, all right, they're not gonna give a shit. All right, cool.
No, you can't offend us, man. So you're not on this night show, but once again, you're on this show, and I'm sure you'll be a part of the night show some way, maybe.
Well, I'm definitely staying. You know,
Hell yeah.
there's a lot of cool matches going on. Always look to support whatever show I work for the anybody who takes the time to actually booking me and giving me an opportunity and everything, man. It means the world to me whenever I get booked because I early on I learned how fucked up wrestling could be. So I really don't like if somebody really like wants me there, I'm gonna make sure I do what I can to show any kind of support or help them out.
Hell yeah. So let's go back in time. You grew up in New York, right?
Yeah, I'm not from New York City. I live an hour outside. I just happen to currently work in there. I live like in a small town nobody even heard of, like an hour outside of the Bronx. It's just some small regular town where, just little everybody kind of knows each other, none of all that.
So growing up, I was looking into you. You didn't really dig high school or school much like me. I didn't like school at all either.
No, at the time I had difficulty developing relationships and communicating with like the other kids. Not, I mean, yeah, a lot of them were douchebags, but it was also just I didn't like talking much. I kind of just stayed to myself. So, like everyone else when they go through high school, it's like click, click, click. Everybody's in their own little group. So if you're not your own little group, then you go into that phase where everybody's going, nobody likes me, I'm a loser. When at the end of the day, obviously, when you get out of school, you're like, oh man, thank God I didn't do any of that because you don't want to talk to anyone as you get older because you realize how much people suck. But going
Yeah.
back to school, I mean, yeah, I was a loner. Pretty much, I would go to school, sit through class, and then just go home. And a lot of my time was really, at least in high school, it was wrestling. I was getting big in the UFC at the time. I amateur wrestled for 4 years in high school, but that was specifically the winter time. So that's when I would stay after school, do the practicing, and then like go home. But other than that, like I didn't do much. I didn't go to prom or anything. Didn't really like wasn't invited to parties at all. Of course, a lot of the kids all they really do was go to like the woods and drink because there really wasn't any place for all the kids to hang out. So at least that's what I was told. Everything for me was all hearsay. You hear all the stories of what these kids did at parties and stuff, and you're just going, "What?" Because I was such a loner. I'm like, "Wait, really did that? This kid dropped out because of this? This kid, unfortunately, a girl in my grade died. I think of an overdose, and I didn't know
Oh
about it
fuck.
until somebody told me, and I didn't realize all this stuff was happening." Because apparently it wasn't until when I was in college where people told me the town I was from, oh, yeah, you guys have a serious heroin problem. I'm just going, what?
Are you straight edge?
No. I'm a dipper. I like chewing tobacco, unfortunately. Usually I do the long trips to H2O. I need to have something in my mouth. And then, it just keeps me occupied. When it comes, I'm not a huge fan of like hard liquor, but I like beer. Like if we go out to a bar, if they have a Guinness on tap, I'll always get the Guinness on tap because it's just when you get it in a can, it doesn't taste the same. I don't know if you ever had Guinness.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, you're right on that. Yep.
Yeah, I've always been a stout guy where I can actually appreciate it. I've had my days where, I've obviously drank so much. Either I was like in a fuck it mood where I was saying stuff I shouldn't have said. Either I was depressed and I was sitting on my ass outside the bar wondering what the hell's life all about, or I would like slowly like walk because I couldn't function anymore.
I know those fucking nights. So when
Yeah,
you were a kid, when did wrestling creep into your life as a kid?
my
You said you were a loner. You didn't spend a lot of time with friends, so I'm assuming wrestling came in there sometime or another, right?
super early. My brother and I are 7 years apart. He obviously grew up into it because my grandfather watched it. And at the time, before I was born, my family, when my brother was around, they were living with my extended family in Queens. So he grew up watching all the old guys, big fan of Ultimate Warrior, obviously watched till like Stone Cold Rock days. I was like 3 or 4 when I remember seeing wrestling on TV. I don't remember any epic promos or whatever, or anything. I just remember seeing guys running around in a ring, beating each other up. And I think just in human nature, since humans are animals, there's this like obsession that we have with like physicality and combat. No matter what anybody says, you have people going, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Yeah, bullshit. Everybody loves some kind of, like fucking fighting. Anywho, I saw it at a young age, grew up with, in the Attitude Era, Stone Cold, Rock, Undertaker, Kane. You saw these crazy characters like come out on TV. I think doesn't matter who you are, you could just get captivated by it. I was such at a young age, so I didn't get a chance to find ECW on TNN at the time or around that time period because I was like 3 or 4 and I was usually told to go to bed around like 9 o'clock or something. I didn't know how to switch the channel or anything. So I was always like WWF, like super early. And then when the NWO Wolfpack happened, that's when my brother started watching WCW. I was a fan of Sting. So I was always like that. If you want to, so pretty much to like then to like now, I've always like wrestling was always there. It wasn't until when I was in third grade where I actually had the ability to know how to change the channel and know when it was on that I watched it even more and more.
Hell yeah, that's cool. When I want to show you a picture. I got this off your Facebook. When was this? This is pretty fucking awesome. Look
I
at
was
you.
18 years
You look
old,
so
right?
how
Oh,
18?
sorry. I
Oh
didn't mean
no,
to
go
cut you
ahead,
off
man.
there.
Oh no, it's just this app, man. You can't like ever talk at the same time. It's cool, dude.
Gotcha.
Go.
So there's this independent company in my area called Northeast Wrestling. They were
Mm-hmm.
hosting a show at the Mid Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. For anybody who watched ECW ran shows out there many times back in the day. And Ultimate Warrior was having a special guest appearance where he was doing a long ass meet and greet, and my brother found it online and he put it on my Facebook wall and he goes, "We're going." So we went there, we got there early. I've never been to an independent wrestling show until then. I've only saw clips of independent shows online, and those were the shows that were only 10 people. So I was going, what is it going to be like 50 people here or something? Only to see that this small independent company had like filled up an entire Mid Hudson Civic Center. And I didn't know how crazy fans were. I was seeing like grown adults come in with like boxes of like unopened toy action figures just to get all autographed. And I'm just looking, I'm going, like I've heard of like Star Wars fanboys, and then I started seeing wrestling fanboys. I'm going, where am I?
Right?
Wow,
What the fuck?
yeah, like I didn't know about the huge like fandom. Like people were like that obsessed. And we waited in line for Warrior, and I saw him like from like a distance that he was in there, and one dude had, like I said, like whole cardboard box of the same action figure, like 6 of them, all autographed. I'm guessing he was looking to sell a lot of them. And then I'm finding out there's fans that know which hotels certain wrestlers stay at, and I'm just going, okay, you guys are creepy. That's like stalker. And all I'm thinking is, man, like these wrestlers are having these random people come up to them, like, "Oh, I just happened to run you at the airport." I'm just like, what? And so I meet Ultimate Warrior, I'm like, all right, hey, hi, nice to meet you, like, what's your name, Mitch, and I didn't know what else to say. I was just like, yeah, we take a picture, and he goes, thanks, and he goes, thank you, have a good night, keep hitting the gym, you're looking good. I went, thanks, you too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because the guy was 50 at the time, I'm pretty sure, and he looked great. He had like a six pack. He was still muscled, and just like the guy took care of himself. How he passed and what happened, I don't know, but he seemed healthy when we saw him.
I always loved the Ultimate Warrior when I was growing up. When it was Warrior and Hogan, I went with Warrior as a kid. I don't know why.
If you ask me, even guys in the deathmatch field that only like deathmatch wrestling now, you have to be a fan of Warrior because it's hard not to. How can you boo the guy? The guy
Right.
was, like, he looked great. He was wild. He's great. Like, I don't know. To me, that's what I like to see in wrestling. I like to see guys that are just so bizarre and just something where it's like the energy and the passion just coming off of them, where you can just feel it. And then you're like, you want to be a part of this and you want to see this.
Does your energy come from that a little bit? Do you channel the Warrior just a little bit? And I'm not talking about shaking the ropes, but just because you have a lot of fucking energy in the ring. You bark, you do your barking thing, you fucking scream in promos. You basically don't even talk, you scream. Some people never even heard you talk till tonight.
Yeah, man. I learned, see, early on when I was training, I thought in order to like get the fans to like you and appreciate you, you had to be this, world of sport British technical wrestling superstar for, in my mind, I thought I had to win the fans. You know how there's some fans that are just sit in their seat and they'll just give you a golf clap. Like, this is how we celebrate a good match.
Yeah.
Who are just not there to have fun. Like, guys, people are wearing tights and they're they're beating each other up. Why are you acting like we're watching Tiger Woods going for like his like 100th hole in one? That's just me, like, we're here to have fun. And so I guess as time goes on, I realized I'm not that guy who's meant to be the Nigel McGuinness or Brian Danielson. I'm just meant to be a guy who's just like, I grew up in an era where I watched guys, they just brawled and beat the fucking shit out of each other. Nothing fancy, maybe like a quick headlock, but at the end of the day, punch, 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 maybe a couple of slams, stuff like that. And that's what I got hooked on. Even to this
Oh
day, I
yeah.
still, like, I love Big Van Vader. I just love just the raw emotion where everybody just pours everything out. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to see people who are just serious and just like, and stiff. Nah, man, loosen up. Go out
Hmm.
there, like, be you. Everybody says wrestling's an art. Fucking, here's your canvas. Don't try to like make sure everything's perfectly lined up and, take a whole ton of paint, splatter.
Hell yeah. John Held, he says he's still pissed that Mathis walked out with the title. Awesome match. That was an awesome match. Man, I was rooting for you that night. I really wanted you to become champion.
Thank you. That was my first ever title match I had with H2O. I don't think I've ever actually wrestled for a company's main title before either. So that was a big deal for me. I never thought I would ever because, like, when you first join wrestling, you have high hopes with everything. On the wrestling side, then you start to see certain things, and then you wonder, like, okay, this is why certain people are here, certain people are there. So I thought, okay, well, I don't want to do certain stuff in order just to grab something. And as well as, so getting this, as well as that shows that Matt Tremont, promoter of H2O, he had faith in me to put me in a position to work with the champion. And of course, yeah, I'm fucking mad I didn't win. Which is why I'm hoping Chuck Payne beats the living shit out of Mathis tomorrow.
Now, are you going to be turning your focus to the Danny Havoc Hardcore Championship soon? Because I'm thinking that you want that.
That would be a championship. It would be a huge honor to have. I was lucky enough to meet Danny Havoc. I knew him for a couple of years. I wasn't super close like a lot of people, but I could say that in the locker room, everybody just he made you feel like you knew him for years when he was in there. He made the locker room vibe a lot better. And he always like gave me advice, he always tried to talk to me, and he was always open to anything. I was jealous of his because he was very well spoken, where like he was able to speak very well. I'm going, man, I wish I could talk like him. He was also the reason that I wanted to start doing death matches, like the ultimate reason, because him and his retirement match versus Alex Colon, I was lucky enough to be live there because I was helping backstage with CZW at the time. And I got to watch that whole match, and I was just saying to myself, okay, I want to do this. Everything about that match was amazing. And anybody who asks what death match they want to watch first, I will always recommend Down with the Sickness 2017, Danny Havoc, Alex Colon. I will always recommend that match.
That's a fucking classic. I love that match too, man.
Going back to what you were saying, where I'm going for next, I definitely want to do death matches again, man. I got in, I didn't want to do it and just, like dabble in it, just to say, hey, I do it. I can do anything, I don't give a shit about that. I wanted to go in because I wanted to be a player. I wanted to go and, I wanted to be one of the top guys. When people say deathmatch wrestling, I want people to know who I am. That's my goal. And I'm still working towards that little by little. So I definitely want to do a death match again. And as you can see, I've pretty much been posting online that I want to do a death match again. And there's a specific
That's
guy
my next question. I pay close attention to your social media because I'm a big fucking fan. And that's not because you're on the show. I truly fucking love your work. And you're challenging this guy, right?
Slack kills people.
I haven't mentioned names yet, but obviously I've thrown a couple of teases, Believe me, I'm not, I'm looking for that fight, man. To me, deathmatch is just about two guys. You got your wrestlers, and you got guys that are just, like, let's just fucking duke it out. And
Mike Althouse, he says he can't
that
wait.
might be who you showed me. Then I'm down for that.
Man, I want to see that match. I can't wait. I hope that happens. Mike Althouse, he's at H2O. He's at a lot of H2O shows. He can't wait to see you tomorrow night, he says. Kill it on the early show, brother.
Mike's always been a fan. I appreciate that. I always see him at any show possible. If there's one thing I've noticed about deathmatch fans is a lot of you guys are just here to have a good time and just want to see crazy fucked up shit. And pretty much I always get people come up to me saying, thank you for what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, man, no problem. Yeah, sometimes I have trouble walking back to my car, but it is what it is. It was my choice.
Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about earlier. I'm just kind of going back in time, letting the fans get to know you. So it's a well-known fact. I've listened to a few podcasts, and like your interview, you have a DVD, right? The fans can go buy that. It has all the best of your matches.
I'm not leaving you. Just getting some quickly.
Yep, and it also has a shoot interview. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's very good. I recommend
it. The very best of Mitch Vallen and H2O. It also has 12 of my best matches since the current time I filmed this, as well as a career retrospective interview or shoot interview, however you want to call it, where I pretty much look back at the past 5 years at the time that when I was in wrestling. And pretty much it's got all my matches from the Deathmatch Trial Series. It's got my Hardcore Kingdom matches. I made sure I had a lot of the important matches on there. And then you get a couple of small ones that are good too.
It's really good, guys. You should pick that up. I have it. It has all his best.
It.
Yeah. I don't have the DVD. I have like the MP3. I download a lot of things these days.
Gotcha.
But I bought it from Smart Mark, the DVD download, whatever. But yeah, I love it, man.
Oh,
I
thank you.
loved your shoot. I loved your shoot interview. It's like a 2 hour shoot interview. And then there's like 2 hours of matches. It's like 4 hours long. So it's really good, man. Anyways, on that, you talk about Beyond the Mat, that movie. You were already a wrestling fan, but that's kind of when you started seeing the behind the scenes, right? And
Yeah.
kind of wanted, that's when you kind of wanted to be a wrestler. Why that movie? Is that the first time you really seen like the shoot aspect of it?
Yeah, I took pride in being just a fan, not finding out behind the scenes stuff. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's a bad thing to do that. It's just that you can tell fans aren't a lot of fans today don't appreciate the storyline, and they'll just be like, okay, when's this guy showing up? They'll search up, or they'll complain that their favorite wrestler is not getting a push, or they lost to a guy, so they're buried. No, just because someone lost a match or they're not getting pushed against a certain person doesn't mean that they're going to be buried. It just means that they're going to be put somewhere else. That's the thing about it's a television show. People are going to be written different ways. We all have favorite characters in movies and TV shows that, like I love George Costanza in Seinfeld, but he's not the Jerry, but he's the George. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That movie actually scared me shitless. Like just seeing how like they made it sound so like such a horror story
It
to
was
even get
dark.
in wrestling. Not necessarily Jake Roberts stuff because that's it was more of like when they were talking about Mike Modest and then the other guy. It was that movie that kind of showed me, oh, if you're not 6'5" and like looking like a bodybuilder, it's going to be hard to be like signed. Because I never looked at size unless they talked about it on commentary watching growing up. You never thought about it. You just watched guys. I just watched guys wrestle. I never said this guy's too small. He can't be him. But. And then Beyond the Mat started showing me what they look at and everything. And I'm just going, oh shit. Because I'm only 5'9". So like, I bet you if like people in WWE they look at me, they're gonna be like, next. Because that's it for years. They've always chose like the huge, like big guy. So that made me think,
Yeah.
okay, I can't do this. Then as time went on, I'm like, wait, no, the hell with this. And I wanted to try it because I refuse to let all these ideals like just get to me. So I'm deciding to be saying, don't let that get to me. And I had to see the truth before I walked into it, knowing some guys don't make it. But then you got to look at, okay, what are they doing wrong or what's what they don't have? Because I'm not them. So yeah, but that movie woke me up. Um, what happened with Darren Drozdoff scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Obviously, like a lot of veterans who like drugs and stuff. Like it was cool seeing Foley and Rock in there, where you got to see like crazy behind the scenes. Like whoa, you know. Then you
So how long after you seen the movie did your journey start? Because you go to HOH, the fucking school thing, right? That's where your journey begins, no?
I saw Beyond the Mat in high school senior year. I decided I wanted to wrestle while I was in college. So after I graduated from college, I was saving money at the time. And August 10th, 2014, House of Hardcore Academy, not the original one that ECW had. This was based off the company House of Hardcore because I don't want people thinking I'm trying to tell. Oh yeah, I used to train with Danny Doring and Roadkill. I didn't obviously, and they were hosting a seminar. It was for
But
people with
Tom Dreamer did run this technically.
yeah. They were hosting a seminar August 10th, 2014. People without experience. They said top prospect gets free tuition. So the school was only an hour away from me. The school was in the Mid Hudson Civic Center. So I go there. Tommy says hello to everyone. I meet the other trainers, Hale Collins, Vic Delicious, and I meet the other students that were helping set everything up. There was two rings, one for the people with no experience where they learn basic stuff. The other one was for the guys who've been wrestling for a few years and just to get critiqued by Tommy in their matches. And I did the rolls. I learned to lock up. Then at the end they had us cut a promo on why should we train you. I was motivated. I was 20, like I was fired up, and I really wanted this free tuition. And everybody was like, hi, I'm Bill. I live for this business. Blah, blah. And I'm just standing in line going, I'm not letting these fucking pieces of shit get this. So I'm in the ring, I'm screaming, and I'm saying where I'm going to go next and all that. And everybody's like clapping. And then, we had one dude who I guess was trying to play a character. He was called Punk Rock Jesus, where he was going off on stuff. He ripped the Bible in the ring. And Tommy Dreamer was like, if you would have burned it, I would have believed you. And I didn't get the
Was Tommy Dreamer really like, was he hard on people?
No, he's a very mellow guy. The passionate Tommy Dreamer you see on TV is kind of polar opposite when you talk to him in person.
Were you
Usually every
nervous
time I
as
see him,
fuck meeting him?
Huh?
How scared were you meeting him? Because you were young, pretty young, and you know him from the ECW days. So what was it like that
I
first
wasn't
day?
scared at all. I was excited the whole day because I've always wanted to wrestle. Like when I learned that they had wrestling schools, I was excited. I met Tommy Dreamer as a fan before I went to the school because I went to HOH 4 in the Mid Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie. I don't know if you ever watch Practical Jokers. Have you ever seen that show?
I like that show.
You ever see the episode where the guy dressed up as Peter Pan and is in the wrestling ring
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Tommy Dreamer?
It's an older one,
was
right?
Yeah, I was a fan that they filmed. So
No,
my face was on the episode. You have the one
I
dude.
actually have the picture here. I didn't know I didn't know. I was gonna ask you what show you were on. I didn't know it was a Practical Jokers. That's crazy. Here it is.
Yeah, that was in Practical Jokers. I was a fan in the front row. And I had people I
That's
haven't spoken
crazy.
to for years message me going, yo, I saw you on Practical Jokers. I never heard of the show. I just go, are you sure? And then they explained to me what they saw. I went, oh. So I had to look it up for myself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and no, Tommy was cool. He gave us the truth, He told us all the horror stories of how people got blackballed over dumb shit in certain places. And it was just like, I was scared about that, getting nervous and all. Like, oh, you walk by and somebody can just get pissed off just because you sneezed, you know. I learned pretty much first day of that seminar how wrestling could really be, but I stuck with it.
Is this the seminar or no?
Yeah, that was the pick
Oh,
that
okay,
everybody took after the seminar.
that's cool.
Yeah, just me at 20 years old. I thought I had it in the bag after that promo because the other trainer of the school, Vic Delicious, said when I was leaving after I was getting my receipt after I paid for it, he goes, "We will keep in contact with you." And then the funny thing was, Vic Delicious, Hale Collins, my two trainers, even said after that whole thing, "By the way, Mitch, you were my pick for the top prospect because Tommy Dreamer chose a guy who came down from Maine. Dude came all the way down from Maine via train, and they just chose him. Dude only showed up for like a few days and never came back. So it was just like, great."
But you kept going, right, with HOH after that, just because you weren't picked as the prospect, you kept going, no?
I was still going to that school no matter what. It was an hour away. It was close to me.
You rode
And
it till the wheels fell off, right? Till it fucking closed, no?
yeah, the school closed off when I was like a year and quarter in. It wasn't the trainer's fault. They knew the guy who ran the building, like the theater part. He got fired, so the ring had to be removed from the Mid Hudson Civic Center. And
Oh shit.
anybody who lives in New York knows to rent out a building anywhere is ridiculously expensive. Like New York is just bad when it comes to like money and everything. So it was hard. And for a while, I didn't have a place to train. And then I attended the CZW seminar in Ohio. And then DJ Hyde I heard I was on the East Coast, invited me to come train with them. And I did like 3-hour drives after my job on Tuesdays to go train at the CZW school in Southern New Jersey. which sometimes the rides home were god awful because I damn near fell asleep behind the wheel almost every time.
Damn. What was DJ Hyde like? Because he gets a pretty bad rap in the deathmatch community. I know you know that. What
You
is
don't
he
have to
that
tell me
bad?
twice.
Is he that bad?
I know DJ has had experiences and bad business relationships with many people. Obviously, we've seen many vets go online and say something bad about him. I really never really went out of my way to talk to him. Only when like he needed to tell me something, or I had to ask him something. Uh, I never had an issue with him. Uh, yes, obviously something earlier in 2020 came out about the whole signing a deal with this network that would rename the wrestling shows after like porn titles.
Yeah, that was
Like,
weird.
yeah, like, I don't know. What was it? Like big boobs and barbed wire, babe or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
babes and brawling or something. I don't know.
I obviously don't approve of that, I mean, yeah, there were certain things about it that I wasn't a fan of. To me, when people shit talk DJ now, it's just beating the dead horse.
True.
Like, yeah, I can understand a lot of people were fans of CZW growing up, like the Zandig days, Nick Mondo, wife beater. Then later on, Nick Gage, Moxley, and then everybody saw what was happening with CZW as time went on, and it sucks. And like,
What was
yeah,
it like working security there? Was that
I fucking
a
hated
weird
it.
job? Did
I
you
didn't
have
have
to
a
kick people out if they like acted up? Did you ever have to kick a motherfucker out?
No,
Like,
I didn't
bitch,
have
get
to do
out.
that. If anything, my job was mainly running out of the way because there was always guys getting thrown in a guardrail or holding the guardrail for people to do their dives so the guardrails didn't push into the fans. One time, MLJ told me to hand a microphone to Drew Gulak in Ohio when I was doing security. And I went, "Oh, Drew, here you go." And he looks at me and goes, "I don't fucking want it." And I just sat there like, "Oh, okay." And then after the show, I was like, "Hey, man, they told me to give it to you." He goes, "Oh, I was just messing with you. I'm not mad." I was going, "Oh, okay." You know,
Um, so working security, watching Tournament of Death, it's hard not to get sucked into that atmosphere, right? So you start fucking liking death matches a lot after that, right?
yeah. See, I watched death matches much later on in my life. I didn't really know about CZW till college because I was always usually like WWE, TNA, whatever was on TV. Then I used to go into Wikipedia, look up certain wrestlers' backgrounds, just to see who they were and learned about them. So when I was looking up John Moxley, I saw the logo Combat Zone Wrestling. It was cool looking, cool colors, black, yellow, barbed wire, and the lettering. And then I find old clips of CZW, and the first ever death match I ever watched was Moxley versus Thumbtack Jack at TOD Rewind. So like I've seen the staple guns, I've seen the thumbtacks, and then you see the staple gun to the tongue, and then you see like skewers getting pushed in the head, and I'm just watching this, I'm going, huh? And then you see the panes of glass and then the light tubes, and you're just going, people do this? And then as time went on, I started watching more. Uh, the thought of doing death matches actually popped in my head was after my debut match at Dojo Wars. Masada was there because he was training guys at NYWC at the time. I think one of his students was there, so he came to watch. He was outside smoking a cigarette, talking to a couple of fans, and he sees me, and I was wrestling as Angry Dad's brother, Uncle Mitch, at the time. So he's like, "Hey, you're that Uncle Mitch guy, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And he goes, "Dude, don't do that fucking shit on the main card. It's fucking stupid." I'm just like, in my head, like, it wasn't my choice. I'm kind of just doing what they give me. Talking, bada boom, bada bang. I was saying how I had struggled getting bookings, and he was looking at me going, "Death matches get you bookings." And I was just going, huh, I'm not really sure yet. And we were talking and stuff, and I was asking him, like, what's your mindset when you go in there? And I guess he was tired or something. He just looks at me and goes, "I don't give a fuck." And I'm just going, "Oh, okay." You know? I'm sure he does. I think he may, I haven't seen Masada in a while. That was my first ever interaction with him. Very nice guy. He was always been nice to me. I have nothing bad to say about him. And then I saw TOD, and the atmosphere was fun. People were tailgating, barbecuing, and everybody was just there to have a good time. I didn't know, I was doing security there. Kept my eyes closed a lot of times because, shards of glass popping everywhere. Got a little nervous because Schlack's elbow pad the fire didn't go out early on, and we didn't have like an extinguisher or anything. So I'm just, it was a cool vibe, and I thought about doing death matches more. And then as time went on, I saw Danny Havoc versus Alex Colon down with the sickness the same year, and after seeing that, I'm like, I wanted to do it. And so I started asking guys, like, what's your mentality going into all this and all that. I met Matt Tremont at the CZW seminar 2016 in Ohio. I knew at the time Matt Tremont had his store Bulldozers Collectibles. So after work one Thursday, I actually drove down to Berlin, New Jersey. And where I live in New York, where I was working, Berlin, New Jersey, was about 2 hours, 45 minutes, not traffic. And I got there like an hour before they were about to close. So I was able to catch them in time. And that's when I started conversation with him. And plus, there was always something about Matt Tremont where I just wanted to like get to know him because he just seemed like a really cool guy whenever you saw him at like conventions and stuff. So I continuously went to the store to ask more advice. That's how he gave me like the pamphlet saying, why don't you come help out H2O and stuff, if you want to. So that's how I got in there. But that's really how the death matches really started. Danny Havoc was a big influence. Obviously, Matt Tremont was a big influence because I was a fan of his promos even before like the thought of getting into deathmatch wrestling. I just was a fan. I was a huge fan of Matt Tremont. And obviously, I was captivated by the amazing reactions Nick Gage would get whenever he would come out, and like the fire he has, because those were like the guys that I like first like kind of watched and discovered.
Hell yeah. So you finally get to TOD. You're not in the tournament though. You're kind of doing a segment, whatever you want to call it. Let's play this for the fans. You want to walk us through this moment?
Yeah,
What
no
was going through
problem.
your head? There you go. Can
So
you see it?
Shook
So you're running.
Crew's coming out trying to ruin TOD like the assholes. I come in, storm in. They all ditch Bobby Orlando. DJ hits Bobby Orlando with the tubes. I'm screaming at DJ to put the barbed wire chair down. I hit him with one of my signature moves. I'm fired up. I'm trying to get all excited. I see Bobby Jr., Bobby Orlando's stuffed goat in the ring. I'm looking at it. I'm screaming at it right now. What people don't know what I'm saying is I'm telling the stuffed goat to suck my dick. That's what I'm saying. So I give it a pile driver, and then I begin to dry hump it in the center of the ring. And fans are going, "You sick fuck." The members of the Shook crew are screaming, rape. And that was not planned. The hit to
So he
the
just
with the light tube.
you didn't know. He just fucking hit you with it.
I didn't know what was going on. I thought when he was picking me up, he was going to give me a lariat, So when he gives me the tube, I have no idea what's going on. So I'm legit asking him in the ring, "You want me to hit you over the head?" Like, not yet. Like, here, I'm talking to him. You see him go, "Yeah." Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the initiation thing. I didn't realize he just did that on his own. Like DJ didn't have to do that. Which is why I hate the fact that so many people hate DJ and all the bullshit I hear. And I'm just like, well, he's done stuff for me like that, I mean, yeah, I stopped wrestling for CZW, not by choice, just because they just didn't book me and nobody ever contacted me after. I was.
Are you pissed about that? Do you hold a little bit of
No.
anger, or you let that go because H2O is your fucking life now, right?
At the time, CZW, that locker room was rough. I had friends that still work there, but it was just very uncomfortable. I didn't feel like I was really like looked at as like someone they wanted to invest in. Towards the end of my time at CZW is when I really started to like get stuff where in my opinion, one of my best matches I've had was against Connor Claxton at Better Than Our Best. We did the Home Run Derby match. See,
Yeah, really good match.
That was the time people were like, a lot of fans were like, fuck CZW. So, like, and I just like, okay, we're giving him a death match. So, like, people love death match. You know, I'm hoping, like, you know, there's some kind of build up to this. So, like, you know, we were using tubes. People love tubes. I'm like, I'm hoping, because at the time, it was hard with CZW because people were just like, eh. So, like, I just wanted that. And, like, the fans, at least I heard the fans get involved and stuff. You know, people were excited. You know, we were telling a good story where pretty much Connor beat the shit out of me most of the match. I like start firing back. It was a great match. The only thing I really wished was, so I don't know if people like when I look back at that match, the bat that I walk out from the curtain with, that was meant to be an exploding bat where they showed me the video, but they had two bats. One was loaded, one was not. They gave me the unloaded bat. They left the unloaded bat by the curtain.
So the bat was supposed to explode when you let's show everybody right now, and then we'll come back and talk about that a little more. Let's show the exact moment when you have the bat and you think it's going to explode, because not a lot of people knew that. You know, you guys didn't tell people this.
Well, for a while, then I realized it's been a couple of years, so I just like, all right, yeah, let's tell people.
Let's show it, and we'll come right
Mitch.
back.
Oh man. Just assaulting him with this bat, wrapped in barbed wire. Oh man. Mitch now with a choke slam.
So you could tell you're just like, fuck it, right?
I say that.
You do. You're like, fuck this.
Yeah, where in a way
That's crazy though to know that was supposed to explode. I didn't even know that when I was watching that, you know.
Well, I had that feeling because when I came out with the bat, I heard a fan scream, you know, Onita. So I thought, okay, people had the idea. So, you know, we had this dramatic thing where, you know, Connor and I were supposed like close in the beginning when I first showed up. Then he was like, you know, like I took you behind my wing, you know, and he hits me with the light tubes, and I'm like, not this time. And I hit him the first time. I'm like, what the fuck? Because there's a trigger on the bat. I do it again. Not like so I say to myself, I said like one more time, hit him in the back, and I'm just, you know, I legit in the ring. I go, fuck it, take the finisher again. And then the match overall was good, but I personally was just really upset that the bat didn't go off. So
were these the infamous Zandig made bats back then? Because I know he was making some bats, wasn't he?
John Zandig did not make those bats.
Okay.
There was somebody at the time who was in CZW that was help booking. Hence why you saw certain people that normally weren't in CZW and stuff. And they had a couple people who made the bats. Like I said, there was one loaded, one unloaded. They gave me the unloaded bat to take from behind the curtain. It wasn't until later on at the night they go, yeah, this was the loaded one. So at the end of the night, they had me like press the button, see if it worked outside, and it boom! They gave me the wrong bat. That's what happened.
So Maven Bentley a couple months ago.
No. Just I please excuse me. I stopped that because
oh no, go for it, Mitch.
I've never had an issue at Maven Bentley. You know, I don't know if other people have.
Oh no, I was gonna just say that he's saying that CZW is coming back, and I was just gonna ask if you would be open to coming back if they called you. That's all I was gonna say about.
Oh, please excuse me.
Maven's cool, right? Maven was always a good guy, right?
I have the utmost respect for Maven Bentley. Always been nice to me, you know, stand up person to me. I think I've heard stuff that he's had issues with other people in the past, but that's their business. I'm not part of that. Whatever is that is between them. Yes, they did say that CZW was going to return. I'm not like ultimately like against going back. If I feel like it's good for me, yeah. Mainly because I I've always wanted to do Tournament of Death.
I was gonna say Tournament of Death, right?
That's really my biggest, if they ever did Cage of Death again, I would love to do the Cage. It's mainly like those are my inspirations, because when I first did deathmatch wrestling, my first goal was Tournament of Death. Because for me, as a fan of death, when I seen deathmatch wrestling, I started seeing Tournament of Death. That was like my first glimpse. I know King of the Death matches was before, and I'm familiar with like FMW and like the OG days, of course. But for me, just seeing, I knew CZW, Tournament of Death, and to me, Tournament of Death was like that's where I would want, because all the history behind it,
Yeah. Hell yeah, for sure. So when DJ hit you with that tube, that was your first experience with glass ever?
Yeah. In the ring, he goes, "Hey, Mitch," on the microphone, "Welcome to the Tournament of Death." And as I see him swinging in the air like this, I'm in the ring. I go, "Huh?" And then and then I get hit. So my immediate response is, after getting hit in the head, go to the ground, not knowing he didn't want me to do that. And I'm going, "Well, I didn't know this was happening. How am I? It was my first experience getting hit with the tube. So I get hit in the head, boom, go down. I didn't know he wanted me to stay up. So that was my first time at glass, and I was just like, "Oh, all right, cool." Because I think anybody who never got hit with a light tube before, the first time, everybody's like, "All right, let's see what happens." Boop. Oh, okay.
So after that, that's not your last time with glass, because you start fucking around with glass a lot more later on. But first, I want to get into this is crazy to me. So you were on Impractical Jokers, but you also were on a fucking television show on Cinemax. Cinemax is owned by HBO. So technically, you were like on an HBO produced fucking show. It was called The Nick. Were you just on one episode, or were you a character?
I was on 3.
That's crazy.
I
Let's
was
show a clip as you're
season
talking.
2. Season 2. The show was about a hospital in the early 1900s. So the guy who was managing me, that's Mr. Cleary. Yeah, I'll explain this episode first. I was losing really bad, so he injects me with drugs to get myself hyped up, right? So I'm legit freezing because this is St. Patrick's Day in an abandoned building in Brooklyn. So the director goes, "Stay like that." So I was losing, and this is the match where I'm supposedly get the advantage. I finally get the victory for him, only to realize the drugs were too much for me, and I end up dying of a drug overdose, as you can see right here.
Oh, fuck, you're shaking and you're ODing right there. I don't like
Yeah,
seeing Mitch dying, man. What the fuck?
yeah, and yeah. So I'm dead right now as you're watching this. Yeah,
That's
and
crazy, dude.
I was only
And this show
21.
was on Cinemax. This was a TV series.
Yeah, it only lasted 2 seasons. I don't know why. I wasn't a fan of the show because it was just very dark for me, and it was just like, all right, hospital, whatever. But second episode, I did get some lines. Uh, man, these people who are in showbiz and stuff like that, they're like, I still get royalties for the show to this day, and you
That's
felt like
crazy.
you felt important. I felt important because I would come in, I had to go in the city to do voiceover one time for the show for one of the episodes, and I go into the building, and I'm going to the office. "Oh, please have a seat, have some breakfast if you want." And there's a whole table filled eggs, bacon, cereal, and I'm sitting on the couch. I'm sitting here. I'm only 21 years old. Oh, this is really cool. And Jim Carrey's The Truman Show is playing, and I got paid a good amount of money for just doing one line of voiceover.
That's fucked up. And you could watch these episodes because you're that show's on HBO Max now. I believe you could watch all the episodes of this shit. You live on forever, man. You're on
Yeah.
HBO Max, bro. It's insane.
Yeah, I remember when I told Tommy Dreamer that I got the part. It was on Twitter. I didn't have his number at the time. So I told him. He goes, "What? Text me." So I told him, and he couldn't believe I got the part because he was telling me about all of the people he sent the information to. like people that like look, that were like that looked like they could be on TV and stuff, and like I was chosen. Where yeah, it was an awesome experience.
Did you want to be? Did you want to be an actor? Because was that always like something you wanted to do?
No, I mean, it would be, believe me, it would be cool to star in my own film or something, or do like television again, but it wasn't like exactly what I wanted. I probably would have did drama in school if I really wanted to do that. It was a cool thing. I would do it again. I mean, not like a porn set or anything, but I would, if there was an opportunity to be like on TV again. Like, yeah, sure, why not? You know.
Would you do a sex scene on Cinemax? Yes or no?
No, I would not do Skinamax.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's keep on track. Whoa, we've already been on an hour. Do you mind staying? We usually end about an hour. Do you mind staying on a little longer?
No, absolutely. Let's do it.
Time's just fucking flying by with you. You're so much fun, bro. So you CZW, it doesn't work out. You just told us they never called you, whatever. So fuck it. You go on to H2O, right? Through your
Yeah, man.
connection, through Matt, because you go to the collectibles. Did you buy a lot of shit there? How much
I
shit do you
always
think you
made
bought?
I always made sure I bought something when I went there, because to me it would have been the biggest slap in the face to go there and not buy something, especially when I was trying to like, I just something like I guess I was also looking for like a mentor figure and kind of just like learning stuff. And that was just one way I was able to talk to somebody in the business and somebody I really liked. So the first ever thing I bought was the best of John Moxley and CZW. I still have that. I bought my brother an Ultimate Warrior figure, like a little small one, because he's diehard Warrior fan. Bought a bunch of DVDs, like some Ring of Honor clips, AIW, uh, stuff like that. Like,
Were
I
you
bought a
sad to
DVD.
see it closed? Were you sad when it closed down forever?
Oh, I miss it every day. I love that store. And
Yeah.
a lot of times before I would go into the store, I would walk around the entire farmer's market and just look around everything else, you know, because like I was a huge fan of I love flea markets. I just love the vibe, like you could find old school stuff. They usually have like 50s music playing on the radio, which I'm a huge fan of. And just, like I used to go there before. I used to go to CZW shows and just like talk to Matt and shoot the shit. And just to try to learn. It was hard for me. I always would try to make up questions just to see if I could get any, like, okay, what can I ask him today? You know, like,
Yeah, because he's a fucking legend. So I can only imagine the information you can get from a man like fucking Matt Tremont. How good is your relationship with him? Are you really close to him behind closed doors?
I like to say we're friends. Uh, I guess it's just him and I aren't far apart in age. I think which helps. He's 31, I'm 27. And just pretty much, I guess, just I don't like usually like with H2O, like I'll like go to the shows early just to chill, or I'd stay late and just like talk to everyone. Because back where I am, I don't have a lot of friends or like people to talk to or hang out with. So a lot of times I don't see these people all the time. So I go down there and just try to like, catch up and talk to everyone. Because to me, like it's also more like it's kind of like, in a way, it's like a family in a way that you get to see like once a month, but the family you enjoy seeing, not like your bloodline family where everybody hate each other's guts, but they're just here to make grandma happy.
So what were you thinking when you got your first match in H2O was against the boss, right? Opening fucking day?
I didn't expect that at all. I was booked on Prelude to Violence against Kid Osborne, and he was in England at the time, along with the rep, Dave McCall, Nate Carter, and Joe Gacy. And they were going to tune into the show. Nate Carter messaged me saying, "Yo," and I go, and I knew they needed somebody to be picked up at the airport. So I go, "What time you need me there?" When Matt heard that I was going to pick him up and everything, Nate Carter texted me saying, "Tremont says you're booked July 7th." not knowing who I was working with or anything. So I pick him up from the airport, which was like an hour away from where I lived. So it was easier, faster travel for me. And then we were just in the car. Matt was in the front seat. He goes, July 7th, H2O debut. You and me. I'm driving. I'm going, what? Like I was in shock. And I was like, wow, like he's giving me an opportunity to work with him. And I never had that before, really. I never really gone up against like a name or like a guy with credibility. So I was just like, wow, he's giving me this. So like, I made sure I promoted that match hardcore. Like a lot, and just I really wanted to show him that I cared. So I filmed a promo for it, and I was just throwing it out there because that's important. You got to get the name out there and let people know this is going on. And so we had our match. It was minor hardcore. We had what I call the cooking pan of doom. Usually when you see cooking, it was thicker than a traditional cooking sheet that you see guys use. It was more like a pan you would use for like a lasagna. So like after
It
like the
wasn't none
match,
of those deep south pans. It was a real fucking pan.
so
Not
like
none of those
after
Kevin
those,
Brandon pans.
after that match, even Chando saw the pan and was like, "Dude," so we laugh about that.
How's your relationship with Chando? He
And
seems
fuck
like
that.
quite the character.
No, in all reality, Chando's a good dude. He can get annoying at times when I see him like cut promos, you know. But no, in all seriousness, Chando's a good dude. Does a lot for H2O. Does a lot of video editing. I'm happy to see that he's starting to have confidence in his ass. He always shits on himself all the time. So that match with Neil Diamond Cutter really helped him out. I told him good shit. You should be proud of yourself. He's starting to get that confidence in himself, and I'm like, good. Because at the end of the day, there's something about Chando that makes people want to tune in. You know,
So I got a question for you. Road footage. How much do you fuck?
I hate this day.
Hold. That was a mistake. How much do you love H2O? You seem like you're just really in your mode here.
it's my ECW, and when I say that, a lot of guys in the '90s, obviously, if they weren't getting like hired by WWF at the time or WCW, they really, then a lot of times those guys were picked up at ECW, and they had an opportunity to really build their name and make a name for themselves. If it wasn't for H2O, I wouldn't be sitting here with you. People wouldn't be talking about me on, on the Twitter or Facebook. And it pretty much gives me an opportunity to be seen on a bigger scale since we have IWTV now. And this scene that's popping up as you're watching, I was scared to death of missing. So my eyes were at a higher, we're kind of looking at his stomach more,
Mm-hmm.
referring to getting to throwing the ball at Chando. And
He hurt
pretty much
himself on that, didn't he? Didn't he fuck himself up on that spot?
what happened is that wasn't supposed to be like the finish. Uh, he was supposed to get up, and I was supposed to hit him with something else, but he was yelling at me in the ring, going, "Cover me! I broke a rib." So it looks like I'm telling him to get up, and I've even seen people go online going, and he's telling him to pick him up as if he has to do anything more. I'm like, well, that wasn't technically the finish of the match, but I'm not going to go online and say that. But no, man, H2O is the reason why I'm still wrestling to this day. That's why I love it so much. If it wasn't for H2O, I wouldn't get the opportunities to work certain guys, be on certain podcasts, get people tuning in. It's that pretty much H2O saved my career. I was ready to call it quits countless times. Even after I left CZW, I felt like okay, nobody really cares about me, because everybody was investing in others. and I was ready to quit, and I decided not to, and then just Hardcore Kingdom happened. Then the ball just started rolling more and more.
What was it? What was it like? The big moment here. Let's play this footage, courtesy of the Hardway documentary. You could buy this at SmartMark Video. This is a little clip of when you won Hardcore Kingdom, and you're talking to Matt Tremont. Roll this clip.
Matt. Everybody who decides to train to be a professional wrestler ought to look up to you, watch you, and study what a great wrestler is all about.
What possessed you to do that moving speech?
I never been in a position where I was put in a spot to where I was being awarded, like I got an accomplishment as a Hardcore Kingdom. And I just felt like after all those years of not like the school closing down, the long car rides, seeing people get booked everywhere, seeing other people get looked at and being mentored by everyone else, and all for all the I guess the misfortune and the bad luck, I finally find someone who saw something in me, wanted to use me, and really saw me as one of his guys in H2O. And I'm a very grateful person because early on, life really could punch you in the stomach really hard. For me in wrestling, it definitely did. So it was more just me kind of just letting everything out and explaining how grateful I was. Yeah, I get guys in the back complaining that the promo was a little too long, but there was just a lot I had to say, and I don't regret saying any of that. It was that moment where I had to say stuff. And shout out to Jeff Waldridge for putting that in Hardway. That was awesome. Because
Waldridge is a fucking man.
I got to when I was watching Hardway, I got to see that, and I was just like, "Oh damn, that's pretty cool."
Yeah, I love that scene in the movie. It gave me fucking chills when I bought the DVD. Because I'm a big fan of you, and I really liked when you fucking won that. And that was kind of the first time Hardcore Kingdom got real ultra violent, right? Because they really weren't using tubes in the earlier Hardcore Kingdoms, were they? They were no glass, I thought.
I'm not sure. I know for the second one, it was a lot of barbed wire, carpet strips. I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I'll say this here. To me, you don't need glass to make it a good death match. I disagree when people say that, but we used the tubes in the finals, which in my opinion is the good time because that's what people look forward to the most, and that's
the build, right?
Yeah,
the build.
Yeah, so that was planned. That was cool, and I also know the first couple of Hardcore Kingdoms, Matt didn't run the building. It was ran by someone else. So maybe I guess that's also. So we did get to use tubes, and that I was in shock when I won that Hardcore Kingdom because that Hardcore Kingdom was a lot of guys on there. We had Orin Veidt who was in that one. We had Schlack, Dysfunction, Low Life Louie. You had a lot of names in there.
Yeah.
And for me to win, I was just like, my first thought was, I hope fans are okay with this because everybody online was saying certain guys were going to win, and I'm like, nobody's talking about me, and I don't know how people are going to react if they, which in a way is kind of cool at the same time because it's they're not expecting it, so when it does happen, so it was cool to see the
Are you over that feeling now? Are you over the feeling of wondering if the fans like you or not? Do you know that we're digging you now? I don't know how else to put it, because I know a lot of people like you, man. You're just very, I don't know, something about you on the H2O shows, man.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me anymore. You see a lot of guys in the death, because originally death match guys were like a specific like look, and then like you get a couple of wild cards in there that are a little different that do the death matches, especially today where you're seeing a lot more guys do it. So it was just more like, I think people just want to see some good wrestling, some crazy death match wrestling, like that's what people all want to see. So just give them a show. And so that's all I think about when I go out there.
Um, Rich Cannon, he says, rough, rough, rough. Hey, here's a little thing. You used to put out these little quotes. Here's one from you. When life fucks you in the ass, you shit on its dick. Mitch Vallen. Do you have any other wisdom? Can you give us a quote? Do you have any off the top of your head? I really like these quotes because you put out little videos like the banana one we played at the beginning.
Oh Jesus. Okay, so the reason behind those videos was my partner Jeff Cannonball is getting over his fuck with the short soda reviews, and a friend of ours is doing bench reviews where he's going to random parks and like reviewing benches you sit on, and Cannonball and Tony Deppen keep pushing me to do content to go online to get my name over on social media because if a lot of guys that are booked, all you gotta do is like it's like one video and then boom, apparently everybody knows about them. So I was doing that a little bit, but the thing is nobody really cared after like the first two. So it was just like, okay, so why continue? You know? So it was hard, like I always like try to work something and it's like I the hell with it. Um that that quote that you put up, when life fucks you in the ass, you shit on its dick.
I love that, man. I love it.
I got a dirty mind, so I was legit thinking about like stupid stuff where I was like probably driving or something, and I just thought of that, and I'm just going, I'm gonna use this in a promo.
What's your relationship like with Jeff fucking Cannonball?
We became friends more and more as we were a tag team more and more. We just chilled.
Now,
and
will you?
talked in the
Can I
locker
ask
room.
you? Can I ask you a question? Did H2O management, Matt Tremont, whoever it may be, put you together with Jeff Cannonball, or is this something you guys wanted and you went to them and said, "We want to be a tag team"?
They put us together. We were teaming together against the extricated Too Tough to Quit after Hardcore Kingdom because the extricated Cannonball and I, we were the final four in the finals of Hardcore Kingdom. So since they were a team, they put Cannonball and I together. The crowd really liked us. Matt really liked us. So for Subterranean Volume 5, Double Death Tag Wars, they kept us as a tag team. And so we were just doing it, and then we started doing more and more as a team, and then we became friends as we started talking about ideas and what we could do.
Rich Cannon, I always fuck up people's names. I botch everybody's name on this show. Rich Cannon. He wants to know if you're booked. You are booked, right?
Yeah, Rich,
Per
I'm
show.
booked on You Shouldn't Have Done That. That's on at 2:30. I'll be wrestling the Dignified Administration. I'm going to beat the shit out of those two. And that's the first show, again, at 2:30. If you want to tune in IWTV, if you will not be there live.
Yep, and then there's even a nighttime show. So right after that, you can keep IWTV on and fucking watch No Pity.
Yeah, it's going to be two awesome shows, Rich. And for anybody else that's currently watching, I'm happy with H2O's going on because, obviously I'm part of the company. I want to see whatever company I work with thrive and do well because that means everyone else is doing well. I love seeing fans get. Oh, Rich Concan says, Jesus Christ, dude, it's Con Cannon.
Whoops, my bad. what was the experience like in North Carolina? You went to North Carolina and wrestled for Raven Havoc's promotion, right?
Yeah, I
I was
wasn't.
there.
I
I was
wasn't a
there
wrestler.
front row.
Oh, you were there,
I was there front row. That was the only time I seen you live, man.
right? Yeah, because I thought this is legit the first time you and I are actually talking.
Yeah, I didn't
Outside of
see you. I didn't see you walking around. I took pictures with a lot of guys. I didn't see you that day, like walking around anywhere. I even chilled with Devin Moore and Connor Claxton in the parking lot before the event, but I
I
just
think
never
it's
seen you.
I think it's because my match was after intermission. Normally, when my matches are after intermission, I don't go out because like I'm just so focused on getting ready. No offense, and
Oh no, I
I was
understand, man. You got to get in the zone, right?
yeah. Matt messaged me. I think either like the week before or something about work going on that show and going down with the guys, and I ended up driving most of the time, and that was the asshole and the Zubas. Please excuse me. I just keep reading Rich's things.
No, it's all good.
And
So you drove all the boys up there? You were the
not
driver?
not the whole time, but most of the time, like when we first got the van, I drove it because I don't think nobody really else wanted to. I'm like, I'll do it. So I was like driving the van. I was tired most of the time. There were so many people packed in the van, and like one half of my ass was like on the side of the seat, and like my whole like right ass cheek got numb. I hated it. So the most comfortable seat was actually when I was driving. It was a fun match though. Like I enjoyed the match, and the crowd seemed to get into it. Whenever the crowd gets into it, I get happy. The guys were very welcoming when I got there. Everybody's like, "Hey, like there's a locker room right there. There's showers." I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Hell yeah. Do you think when COVID's over, let's just hope one day this shit is over and things can get back to normal. Do you think H2O will travel more and do little things like that more?
I hope so. Uh, my goal, or what I would like to see H2O do, is definitely run a show in the 2300 arena, or ECW arena, which I always call. I'm hoping a lot of people bought that shirt that was out there to help fund money to keep that building up. Because
Yeah, I
I
seen that.
did. I bought the shirt and pin because I used to be at the ECW arena being the timekeeper for HOH. I did get the opportunity to work there for CZW's Cage of Death, and I really want to see H2O work there. I'd love to see H2O work in different states, of course. I think it would be cool to go down like Indiana, like for a lot of the IWA Mid South fans to see what
Yeah.
we're doing in Williamstown, New Jersey. Of course, I want to see H2O thrive, man. Not just for me, but for Matt and for everybody else who's working there. I want to see the students get experience other places. I want to see guys who may not have gotten booked anywhere else get opportunities to work other places. Like that's what it's about, man. Like we're all in this together.
How are the students? Do you have a good relationship with the youngsters? Are there any ones that catch your eye? Sometimes that you look at them in the ring training and you're like, that guy's going to be a fucking star.
The students have always been nice to me. If there's one person I could see definitely getting signed, it's Marcus Mathers. He's the son of little Mark Angel. The only
Yeah.
thing a lot of these students would just have to do is just keep doing what they're doing. Like they're doing well in the ring and everything. Nothing against their, nothing bad to say about their ring work. Now it's all a matter of just, kind of just learning about who they are along the way and finding themselves and creating the persona and getting in better physical shape. Pretty much the small stuff. But they're all killing it. They're all respectful. Got nothing bad to say about any of them.
Hell yeah. Let's get into this. What's the deal with strongman competition? Are you gonna enter one of these things one day or what?
Oh no, I've done a couple of competitions already. I'm currently signed up for Connecticut's Strongest Man on April 17th. So I go to a gym in South Windsor, Connecticut. Yeah. So what you see here, that's Lightning Fitness. That's in South Windsor, Connecticut. It's by the border of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
I originally started going there as a 1-day pass because pro strongman Rob Kearney, who was also competed in the world's strongest man and he's one of the top guys. He was training at this gym before he moved to Seattle. So that's why I started coming here. And I just kept going more and more because I had all the equipment I need. The owner of the gym, Matt Mills, he's my strength coach who does my programming. I met my nutritionist there who helps me out with my diet. I'm currently getting prepped for the competition where I have to lose 20 pounds to be able to make the 231 weight class, since I'm currently 250.
Whoa.
And
how heavy is that thing right there?
So the red frame is 150, and I'm pretty sure this was about 585 that I was doing. Because
I could have left that shit if I tried, man.
I competed in Pennsylvania's Strongest Man in November after the last extravaganza. One of the events was the frame deadlift, where you had like a square frame that you would pick up, and after each repetition, you would have guys that would throw 50 more pounds as you keep going up in reps. So let's say I did I picked up 470, you drop it, they throw 50 pounds. Pick it up, another 50 pounds until you can't go no more. So that's why I train that. You see different lifts because I'm training for specific events, pending what competition and stuff. That's why you'll see unorthodox, like different lifts that you wouldn't see at a commercial gym. And I'm just going to keep
fucking
doing
awesome.
Thank you. I do this just, it's something to work towards. It's nothing to do with wrestling. A lot of times wrestling is just hoping somebody sees you and you get the opportunity, where for me, strongman, I just, I control my diet. I control my training. I go in there and it's all a matter of how hard I push myself and everything. And nobody can tell me, yeah, we're not going to have you, or you're not going to be the one to pick up like 400 pounds. Like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Like, nobody can tell me anything, it's up to, I do it, which is, I think, what I needed, because wrestling's such a huge, like, you got to hope somebody sees you and goes, we want that guy. For strongman, it's, hey, can you do that?
Hell yeah. Well, that's fucking awesome. I really like seeing the strongman shit. I find it really interesting how you're in all that. Just, is this even something you can answer? How strong are you? Can you even answer that?
If you want to compare me to competitive powerlifters and strongman,
Yeah.
Nah. A lot of them have been training a lot longer than I have. I've been like hardcore training, like programming, not just dabbling in the gym. About 16 weeks I've done ever since I have my strength coach and owner of Lightning Fitness, Matt Mills, do my programming. He pretty much, that's when I really done the serious hardcore training. The gym I go to, Matt Mills calls it the strongest gym in New England from all the people we've had go through there, where we've had competitive powerlifters who have traveled the state and the world for competitions. We got guys who weigh like 198 pounds, because that's a weight class. They're benching 400. Even the women, like there's this one woman I see, her bench is like 290. She does like a 408 squat. Like,
whoa.
Yeah, like, like just this gym, like, it's
you should bring some of those girls into. Isn't Tremont doing like the queen of the deathmatch type thing? What's it called? The throw. What is it? Do you know the name?
I think it's called Queens of Combat. I think if that's
Yeah. Yeah. You should bring one of them into that.
A lot of okay. So this is going to segue into the story I got to tell you, but a lot of people have seen my Instagram, and I get a lot of like looks, not like get away from me, but more like you're crazy, dude. So we have mats down on the floor. The owner uses gusset plates to keep the mats together so they don't shift. So he
Oh
sticks it
fuck.
in there. One of the gusset plates was on the desk that we have outside in the gym floor. So I'm just going to people. I'm going, so here, you want to know what we do with these in wrestling? So then I explained to them what we do. And they're all like,
What did they say?
oh, the looks I get. And they're like, dude, you're fucking crazy. They had one dude go up to me and go, here, bring this to Mitch and ask him what's it for.
Do you ever have people in your life that are scared of what you do when they see like the bloody back picture we showed earlier, or like shit like that?
My brother. My brother doesn't support the death matches whatsoever. We watched Hard Way together when they showed Nick Gage in the back at TOD8 after the incident with the arteries. Like, he had to cover his eyes. He even told me after watching that, he goes, I can't support this at all. And I understand.
Well,
My mother doesn't know it all. I'm not telling her because she'll freak out and she'll cry, and it's just not worth the trouble.
yeah.
I came home a day after a show, like my forehead cut up, and she looked at me and went, "Did you cut yourself?" I went, "No." And I'm just like, yeah, she didn't believe that. I don't tell her anything. My uncle saw the clips and was told what was going on. That was when he started pushing like take state job exams and stuff. Like he looked at me like I went to him one day. He goes, "I'm worried about you." I'm like, "Why?" And once wrestling started getting brought up, he's like, "Yeah, you getting thrown in the glass and stuff." I'm like, I'm guessing my cousin saw stuff, so I was just like,
To the casual viewer, though, it does have to look pretty crazy. We're so jaded to it. The fans, like, we see it and it's like nothing, but like my mom sees it, like, oh.
There is no way any of us can influence a casual viewer that this is cool.
Yeah.
They're all going to be, I remember after Hardcore Kingdom, I walk into my weekly job, my arms are cut up. I got my boss going, what happened? I got my coworkers saying, oh, good morning. Oh my God, what happened? And then I explain, oh, I wrestled this weekend. And then they give me all these questions. And I'm just like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then as they're just walking away, they're like not sure how to take it. Where after the finals, I had a little mini vagina wound on the back of my head here that Schlack glued for me in the back. And I still had some of the crust of the glue. And somebody saw it. And it was my supervisor. And I told them, just to see how they react, oh, I got hit over the head with a light tube. And then they just go, you got hit in the head with a light tube? And I'm just like, I'm like, oh, no, I'm just kidding. Don't worry about it. I just fell.
Just drop that right now.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Well, Mitch, this has been a great interview. I got a couple more questions. What was it? Do you have any promotions you want to work for outside of H2O? Do you have your eyes on anything?
Like, if
do you have your eyes on something though? When you're watching the TV?
I wouldn't work for like every company. It's more just like if I guess if the question if what you really want to, if you're wondering is if I would work for companies like ICW No Holds Barred,
GCW No Peace, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
IWA Mid South, like those companies where a lot of death matches happen. If they're interested in bringing me in, they have a big platform. They also have a lot of guys on their rosters that are killing it. They got their group of guys. At the end of the day, it's a lot of times it's their decision if they want to, give me an opportunity or, tell me, hey, we want to bring you in, see what see if it goes well. It's really not my decision. I mean, it is if they ask me and I can say yes or no, but the initiate response is like the promoter is gonna, that's how it's gonna happen. Where it's up to the promoters if they want to bring me in or not. And I'm open to working for a GCW, an ICW, I'm open to working for them. It's just do they want me at this given time, or do they have a spot for me? Because that's what a lot of companies look into, especially when the rosters are stacked.
Yeah, rosters are really stacked these days, huh?
Japan is my ultimate goal. Big Japan freedoms, even Noah or New Japan, if like regular wrestling takes off or whatever, like that's Japan's my overall goal. Like I still believe I still believe something inside of me says I have that opportunity, even though I'm not like over as fuck on the indie scene.
I could definitely see you out there doing some death matches in Japan, man.
Yeah, so like those are some companies. If you want to talk about like televised companies and stuff, that's way down the line, if anything,
But you would do all that shit if it came, huh?
Yeah, if it feels right, yeah.
So what does the future hold for fucking Mitch Vallen in 2021?
I'm gonna beat the shit out of the dignified administration tomorrow. I want this year to be the year of just like kind of like I just want to go back to my old roots when I first broke into H2O, where I did the deathmatch trial series. It's been a while since I've gone crazy, and I want to start doing more of that. I pretty much, I just want this year. I just want to let loose. I'm kind of just, I don't want to like pull strings. I just want to go out there and just fucking be like, yo, guys, I'm fucking here. Hello. Because like like at the end of the day, like with more people watching H2O, I'm like, yo, you guys are looking for people. I'm here. Hello. I just want to be seen more, man. Like this is the year of just like really starting to build my name up even more. Just more and more, as little by little.
Have you missed the H2O show since opening day? Have you ever not been on the show? I feel like you're on every fucking show.
If you're counting opportunity knock shows or pay your dues shows, I haven't been on a lot of those, but I've been on like a lot of the main shows. Yeah. I wasn't originally planned to be in the Danny Havoc Hardcore Championship tournament. Unfortunately, Joker suffered an injury with his eye, and you can't risk that. So then I got the opportunity to take over for Joker, and so I was lucky enough to be part of that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I feel like I've been on almost every like main show H2O has done ever since I've been with them.
Danny Havoc memories. Do you want to end this with a Danny Havoc memory? I know he meant a whole lot to you.
Yeah, I cried at the end of night 2. Once they played Hungry Like the Wolf.
I think we all were crying, man.
When they played Hungry Like the Wolf in the building, I was like, oh, because I knew that was going to be the killer that was going to break me. Because anytime I hear that song, I think of him.
Yeah.
I guess just him just being there. It was never like some like crazy moment where like this was awesome. It was more just after I won Hardcore Kingdom, I was kind of just standing there. I was still covered in blood. I didn't clean up yet. And he's just looking at me going, "You all right?" I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just chilling. He goes, "Oh, okay. Just wasn't sure if you were waiting for somebody or not." One time he referred to me as an odd duck, and I laughed.
Yeah, Danny Havoc, man. He was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and
they don't make him like Danny no more.
No. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. All the deathmatch soldiers and fans now that we've lost, man.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention this early on in the beginning. I'm really sorry for everyone who's watching and everybody in the group and you about Vic. He was the one who messaged me and planning on the scheduling and everything. I'm really sorry. I never really talked to him or knew him until that little like conversation we had. So like, just know my condolences with everybody who knew him and who's watching now. And,
Thanks, Mitch. That means a fucking lot. Yeah. I remember when we were discussing the next few episodes, and you were right at the first, and he told me he was gonna talk to you and shit, and then like 48 hours after it, he passed away. It was pretty bizarre, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But you're one of his last 3 bookings. He booked you, Madman Pondo, and Mickey Knuckles that day. So the show's gonna keep going on, man. We got to keep going for Vic, you know.
Yeah, as
And
long as,
Danny Havoc and Adam Bueller,
yeah,
Spider Boudreaux.
I didn't know. I think I di- please anybody will get. I don't want anybody to get upset. I wasn't sure if he was Bueller or Buell. I didn't know him, but I saw like the story behind it. You know, my condolences to everyone who knew him. Uh, you know, we lost a lot of people last year in the wrestling scene, and it sucks. This, you know,
Yeah, man.
if there's one thing for sure is I remember Tommy Dreamer saying at a House of Hardcore show, "I don't mourn death, I celebrate life." So all we could do is just celebrate the life they had and what they gave us. And at the end of the day, I'm not religious, but I consider myself spiritual. I like to believe that they're, even if we don't see them, they're still with us in spirit.
Yeah, I believe the same thing. I feel like Vic is watching this show tonight. Jeremy Murray, he said he's ready. He wants you back in North Carolina. He was there that day with me. We both watched you.
Oh, what up, Jeremy? Thank you. If the opportunity ever comes again, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, man, we're about done. This is where we let you take the floor and plug anything. You got any shirts, man? I know you got that Mitch, Life's a Mitch shirt.
I
I don't know
lost
if
all
you're
of them.
selling it.
I don't got anymore. However,
Oh, okay.
I do. That was the first shirt I did. The Jaws shirt that you guys have seen me wear. That was a gift made from Cannonball, where he wanted to see me wear sell shirts, and I'm going, man, nobody bought my shirt the first time or whatever. So his wife Tara Calloway comes in with a box and goes, you know, open it up. I'm like, what is this? And I see all shirts with I'm like, oh my god.
Well,
And I gotta get the graphic to get those made. I actually recently got a graphic design made by Jess Moss, who I know is like a fan like around the Jersey area.
yeah.
She actually graphic designed this one shirt that I'm hoping that it sells, because I just it'd be cool for people to support, and just like investing money in shirts is expensive at times.
I know. Yeah. When's this shirt? Is this shirt going to come out soon that you're talking about?
I got the graphic this week. I gotta go to my local graphic designer and get them made. I just got
Awesome.
to
Well,
figure out what's the smart way of getting everything set up so I can get sizes for everyone. Because the first time I did it, people were asking me for a 3 or 4X, and then my thought was, oh, okay, a lot of wrestling fans are on the heavy side, so I got to work on making sure I get big sizes, you know.
yeah, you got to have those
I had only up to
3X.
2X, and I'm just going 5X. Who the hell needs a 5X? And
Okay, everybody, that shirt, be on the lookout. What the DVD too, right? That's a really good fucking DVD. It's not just a shoot interview, but it's like a best of. It has a lot of great matches on there. There it is too.
yeah, I was happy
Fucking
with how this went and everything.
hell yeah! And there's a whole series of like Low Life Louie you can buy, or you can buy Mitch Vallen. They have a couple, don't they?
Yeah, they got Low Life Louie, you got Stockade, you got Cannonball's DVD, you got Devin Moore's. I believe you do have Lucky 13 has one also.
And then tomorrow day, actually, you're gonna be
Yeah,
fucking up the administration.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck those guys.
Hell yeah. Well, Mitch,
After losing the title match, I'm not happy. So I'm just looking to really like really just I'm putting my foot through the wall now, whatever that means. Like I'm just this year I'm just looking. I'm tired of just kind of just not being as talked as much. Like I'm just like this is the year where I'm like, yo, like I'm fucking here, people. That's my goal.
Jeremy Murray, do you remember using the Mousetrap skateboard at Danny Havoc's H2O show last year?
Yeah, I beat the shit out of it to Low Life Louie and Casanova Valentine to the point where I definitely got hit with it really hard back.
I believe Jeremy made that probably. That's why he's saying
thanks,
that.
Jeremy. That was
I know he's a weapon maker.
yeah, that was the start of a bunch of crazy shit in that match.
Yep, he just confirmed he made it. Well, fucking Mitch, I want to thank you, man. This was really fun. I don't always spend an hour and 40 minutes with everybody. Usually I keep it to 50 minutes and I'm out of here, but you were a lot of fun, dude. Maybe one day we can have you come back on the show.
Yeah, man, if you guys ever want me to, you know. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Everybody tune in. IWTV tomorrow. Watch Mitch's match, and he'll be at the other show too. Thank you, Mitch, so much for joining us, man.
Thanks,
We're big
Mike.
fans. We're big fans of you here, bro.
Thank you.
Okay, like we always do, people. Join us this Wednesday night, Madman Pondo, and then the next Saturday, the Vic Tribute Special. February 3rd, Mickey Knuckles. February 10th, Danny DeMonto and Larry Legend together. And I believe that's all the shows we got for you guys. Let's play the Mitch Vallen music video again. That's how we always end it, Mitch. Thank you, man. I hope you have a good night, man.
Thank you.
Peace out, bro.
I hate this day. I hate the fucking rain. I hate everything. Tune in. Tune in.
I can pick anyone I choose. And I choose Ben Richards. That boy's one mean mother...